Today, I would like to talk about a topic that I believe shouldn't be just my idea, but should be an idea for all of us. Today, I would like to talk about change. Greetings everyone, and thank you for being here. My name is Utkarsh Dev, and today I would like to inspire you all to adapt change into your lives for the better. But before we begin, I would like to talk about this idea a little more, the philosophy of change. What is change? Is it letting go of the past, or is it moving towards the future? I believe it's both. It is the constant cycle of letting go of the ways of the past and adapting the future ways or the new ways for the better. It is, as ironically stated a few seconds ago, the only constant cycle in the universe, the only unchallenged law that even the stars are not immune to. To give you an example of how powerful the change is, let us talk about a recent example that would be fresh in everybody's memory, the COVID-19 pandemic. 1.5 years ago, the whole world was gripped by this virus and everyone's lives slowed down. But everyone's lives didn't halt at all. Changes kept happening. We adapted to an online life from our regular offline life, with offices and schools happening over video calls. The vaccine that's being spread among the people right now was created during the research and development that took place in these 1.5 years. And even now, as we recover from the aftermath, we are once again changing to new ways of living our lives. So change can never be stopped. However, an observation I have made is that there's an unwillingness to adapt to change among the people. Why is it so? Is it fear? Is it misconception? Or is it simply ignorance? It's actually all three. We all have experienced it, so I would not elaborate on these three reasons anymore. We have experienced fear of trying something new, misconception that the old concepts will still work, and the ignorance that why should we live in inconvenience at all. To give you another example of this, I would like to narrate a story that happened in my life. I was in the 9th grade, and it was still a time where we were still living our fantasies and still dreaming about the impossible things, like being an astronaut and being a cricketer at the same time. And it was quite a time to be alive. However, there were some people who seemed to be still stuck in the past. One of my friends, we were having a discussion, and I asked him that what was his dream, and he simply replied, engineer. Most odd, especially considering that I was dreaming to be a space cricketer. So I asked him further that why did he choose this dream, and he replied, what else would one do? Now I don't blame him, of course. It's not his fault. It is the ideals and thoughts that he grew up with that engineering is the only way to success and a stable life. However, in these days, people are succeeding in fields that never existed 10 years ago, or 5 years ago for that matter. In fact, if I were to tell you 5 years ago that somebody is making money out of these fields, then I would simply be rebutted or simply be laughed at. Now this is but a small example that I have narrated, but change needs to take place in all aspects of our lives, in our daily lives, in how we perceive the world around us, in the societal structure, in the way we look at our climate. Everything needs to change. Why? Because I believe that a narrative has been lost somewhere, that time waits for no one. Time is like a river that flows without stopping, corroding everything in its path. And if anybody would stand still or try to repel its flow, then they would simply drown. We need to let go of our conventions sooner than we are comfortable with to adapt to a future where society can progress. Therefore, through my talk, I would like to inspire you all to adapt change into your lives. Adapt change in how you live, adapt change in how you perceive living beings, adapt change in everything. And if we do that, I believe that a time will come where people will be visionaries and the past will only be an inspiration, but not a way of life. Thank you.